Shabbat Shalom. This week candle lighting is at 7:22. 6:15 is the earliest time you can light candles, and Shabbat ends tomorrow at 8:27. We're proud to be joining with the US and Mizrahi for a wonderful Shabbaton. All the details are on the website. As last week and the week before and the week before that, Shabbat at home is very similar to Shul. You can read the portion of the week Parashat Tzav. It's Shabbat Hagadol, the big Shabbat, and it has, in many communities, a unique haftorah from Malachi, speaking about the Second Temple era where the Jews were being told off for being wicked and not observing the commandments as they should, and more importantly, the Messianic age and the proclamation of redemption. And it also speaks about the tithing, which is done at this time of the year. The portion of Tzav continues with God commanding Moses and Aaron the sacrifices and the fire that stays on the altar and the initiation process of the first 7 days of the Holy Tabernacle. The additions that we do for Shabbat Hagadol is in Mincha, in the afternoon service tomorrow afternoon, Shabbat afternoon. We read parts of the Haggadah from Avadim Hayinu till the Chaper al Kol Avonotenu, which is after the Manishtana till just after the Dayenu, as a practice run for the Seder. Mazel Tov to Elijah Mizrahi, who celebrated his Bar Mitzvah yesterday, and Joseph Loftus, who is celebrating his Bar Mitzvah this Shabbat. Unfortunately, it had to be cancelled, but he is reading the Torah on the live stream before Shabbat for the Marble Arch and all other communities that wish to join that feed. Historically, this Shabbat was the one that rabbis would speak. We've become used to rabbis giving sermons every Shabbat, but it was this week and the week before Yom Kippur, before Pesach and Yom Kippur, when a rabbi would historically speak. So all the rabbis sitting at home without communities and congregations are having to speak to the walls, so therefore we're doing this video in advance so you can get some inspiration pre-Pesach. One of the unique things about this Shabbat, and in general the redemption from Egypt, was that whilst the Jews were in Egypt, still as it were in exile in a dark place, they didn't have their freedom yet, they started having signs of redemption. There were certain miracles and things that they were able to do. For example, getting the Paschal lamb, which was an ancient Egyptian god. In other words, there were signs of redemption even while in captivity. The Hasidic masters note that the matzah bread that we eat is called two things in the Zohar. It's called michla de mehemnuta, which means the bread or the food of faith, and it's called michla da asvusa, the food of healing. And that's because the physical eating of the matzah, even though it's consuming food, flour and water, has the spiritual capabilities to enhance a person's faith and similarly bring an individual a recovery and a healthy life in a spiritual context. The Hasidic masters take it a step further to suggest that the matzah that the Jews ate whilst they were still in captivity was the bread or the matzah of faith, empowering them to believe that they will get through this and there will be daylight on the other side. And the matzah that they carried with them when they left is the matzah of healing, because now they began the journey of healing spiritually. So for us in the current time that we find ourselves, perhaps we can look at our matzah on either night of the Seder in the same way. The first night, we empower ourselves with our belief that we can get through this. And the second evening, empowering ourselves in healing. Being able to look at light in a dark time is difficult, and different people hearing this will be in different situations. Some have lost loved ones, some loved ones are very poorly, and some are, thank God, recovered. So looking for inspiration and light might be difficult, but I'd like to share with you a story that happened yesterday evening, when Mariano from the community called me, telling me that he had been in touch with a friend called Stephen, who lived in central London and was trying to get a hold of matzah. Mariano said to Stephen, "You're a senior VP at Deliveroo and you're asking me about getting matzah." And together they came up with this idea of, well, let's Deliveroo offer matzah and wine and basics for Pesach. And so they contacted me and I passed them on to Chabad. And as a result, they are about to offer a delivery service bringing Passover from Chabad locations all across the UK as pickup hubs to those that have been unable to pick up supplies and can't get an online shopping order. And here I felt that there was a certain empowerment that Mariano gave Stephen, rather than just simply saying, oh, I need matzah, where can I get it? How many more people can we help bring the mitzvah to them? And whilst not everybody watching this is able to help so many people on a broader scale, we all know people that will be lonely and sitting on their own this Pesach. We all know people that might be going through a hard time. Think of something that you can do to inspire them, that in their dark moment of captivity, they can feel a sense of redemption as well. One suggestion that we've got in the community, in addition to the amazing volunteers that we have that are going about delivering and helping those in need, if you know somebody that's doing a Seder on their own, write them a note. Tell them how much you miss them or how much you love them or how you're thinking about them, and tell them to open this letter only at the Seder night. So then when they're on their own, they feel connected to others. The main thing is that within the darkness, we should be looking for glimmers of light and hope, and each one of us have the power to be able to do that. Redemption begins whilst we are still in captivity. So may God bless everybody with good belief, with enhanced belief, and with enhanced health, and all those that need a speedy recovery should receive it. And may we celebrate this Passover in the ultimate redemption speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach.